Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel and welcome back to the Basics First Playbook. In this series, we are discussing with you as to how the world's most valuable brands evolved from a single product. As we shared with you in our last video also, in this series, we are talking about in an era of brand extensions, product line proliferation, and the pressures to launch a full collection, the most enduring brands in fashion and retail share a counterintuitive origin story. They all started with just one thing and they made it exceptionally well. Now, whether we are talking about Hermes or therow or Uniqlo or Warby Parker, the basics first strategy has proven itself across all price points, categories, and decades. This is the playbook that has built some of the world's most valuable companies. So let's try and understand from saddles to Birkins how the luxury houses have built empires from single products. Three of luxury fashion's most remarkable success stories share a common origin. They each began with the single, meticulously crafted product category. Hermès started with horse harnesses in 1837. Brunello Cucinelli launched with colored cashmere sweaters in 1978. And therow debuted with a $195 white t-shirt in 2006. Let's start with Hermès, from equestrian hardware to a 230 billion euro empire. When we are talking about the foundation, the years from 1837 to 1920s, when Thierry Hermès opened his workshop in Paris in 1837, he had one singular focus: creating the finest harnesses and the saddles for European nobility's horses. The quality was so exceptional that he served royal households across the continent. This wasn't a stepping stone to fashion, it was a business. For nearly 90 years, Hermès remained fundamentally a saddlery company. And this brings us to the discipline that we were talking about. Now, even as Hermes expanded into handbags and silk scarves, and eventually into ready-to-wear, the company maintained obsessive focus on leather craftsmanship. As former CEO said, our first customer is the horse, the second, the rider. When we are talking about the results, the numbers complete the story. 15.2 billion in 2024 revenue, up 15% year-on-year, while the broader luxury market declined approximately 2%. Operating margins exceeded 40%, market capitalization of approximately 230 billion euros, making it the world's most valuable luxury company. The leather goods and saddlery division, still the company's foundation, grew 18% in 2024, generating 6.5 billion euros and accounting for nearly half of the total revenue. Our next focus brand is therow, from the perfect t-shirt to a 1 billion valuation. When we are talking about the foundation, at 18 years old, Ashley Olsen became frustrated with a simple problem. She couldn't find a well-made everyday t-shirt. Rather than accept the status quo, she challenged herself to design one. She tested prototypes on women ages from 20 to 60 across all body types, seeking a commonality in fit and attitude. Next, let's talk about the discipline and the focus. The Olsens made a strategic decision that would define their brand. They deliberately separated their celebrity status from the company's identity. For the first 3 years, they gave no interviews about therow. Even today, neither sister maintains social media accounts, and therow's Instagram posts mainly photos of art. The brand recently reinforced this controlled image by asking fashion show guests to refrain from using phones to record photos or videos. So let's talk about the results. In 2024, therow achieved a $1 billion valuation with minority investments from the Chanel and the L'Oreal family. The brand now generates an estimated 250 to 300 million in annual revenue with an operating profit exceeding $60 million. Extraordinary margins for ready-to-wear fashion. Critically, the Olsen twins retain majority control, maintaining creative and operational direction. The final brand that we wanted to share with you today is Brunello Cucinelli, from a $550 investment to 1.3 billion in revenue. When we are talking about the foundation, Brunello Cucinelli grew up in rural Italy without electricity or running water. At 24, he dropped out of engineering school and buried himself in philosophy books. In 1977, he bought a cashmere sweater from England, loved its texture, and had an insight: colorful cashmere for women didn't exist. When we are talking about the discipline, Cucinelli's approach merged two philosophies: exceptional product quality and what he called humanistic capitalism. Workers received wages 20% above the industry standard. It is said that overtime is forbidden, as the boss believes working too many hours will steal your soul. Every day at 1 p.m., the entire workforce goes off to the company dining hall for a mandatory subsidized 90-minute lunch. The product focus remained equally disciplined. Today, 60% of the garments are made by hand, up from slightly more than half 5 years ago. The company is becoming more vertically integrated, And in 2022, Cucinelli and Chanel together bought 49% of an Italian supplier of cashmere yarn to ensure supply chain control. When we are talking about the results, the company went public in 2012 at €7.75 per share and has multiplied in value since, joining the FTSE MIB index in 2023 with a market capitalization of approximately €5.7 billion. So, what are the common threads amongst Hermes, therow, and Cucinelli? The three brands have three origin stories but one playbook. Several patterns are emerging. In a world obsessed with disruption and rapid scaling, these brands prove that patience and product excellence remain the most sustainable paths to building enduring value. We hope that you've enjoyed the preview edition of this topic. If you like this edition and you want to know more about the topic and understand it in detail,